The gang gathers around a campfire in the middle of dark woods. The shadows cast and the moon is full. What could be lurking nearby? Who knows? Welcome to Mysteries in the Machine.
I'm Charlie.
And I'm Ethan.
And hey, look! The back of the Mystery Machine is opening up. There's a dark, shadowy figure in a cape. I wonder who it could be.
It's me. Listen, okay? Ethan and Charlie, I have a confession to make. I actually haven't left the Mystery Machine since the last time I was with you.
Oh, no.
Just to be clear, it's me, Josh. I don't know. I think I forgot to say that was my name. I was on several months ago to talk about the dynamic Scooby-Doo affair, which was the first time that Scooby-Doo and the gang team up with Batman and Robin. Unfortunately, I've had some motivation to stay in the Mystery Machine to look for clues on my own to help me solve two mysteries, okay?
Two.
The first mystery is, how is Charlie's girlfriend so good at fantasy football? Because she is by far smoking everybody in our league.
Everybody.
She had a record of 12-2 going into the postseason.
Wait, what? Abby's never done this before?
No, you did not know this?
No. I knew Josh hadn't done it. I knew Jay hadn't done it, but...
Well, anyway.
Wow.
She had a record of 12-2 going into the playoffs. And right now, as we are recording, Abby and I are facing off in the final round of the playoffs. And I have a slight hope that I can pull off the win, but as usual, Abby will probably pull off some sort of miracle. And I don't know. I don't know how she does it. So I wasn't able to actually gather any clues, and that is still a mystery. So if listeners have any ideas on what's exactly going on, let us know. But that leads me to the second mystery. Okay, Ethan, Charlie, I'm glad that you're here. I've gathered you here to let you know that I am a deeply, intensely competitive person. And you have made a mistake, all right, in creating this essence of a competition in shenanigans per episode. Because when I came on last time, the dynamic Scooby-Doo affair suddenly was the most shenanigans per episode, and you crowned it the victor. It was only the second episode of the season that you had done, and it only had 21. But I have had to sit and watch every week for the last 3 months, as time and time again, each new episode has broken that record and become the new victor. So what was top 1 in episodes is now in the not even in the top 6. It's in the bottom 5.
Yeah, it's now the bottom 5.
So here's the mystery that I have been trying to solve on my own for these past few months. And it is this. How can I, as one who is enthused by both Scoobies and Doobies, maximize shenanigans per capita? Okay? And all right, hear me out. I strongly contend, Josh Rich, strongly contend that I have accumulated more than enough evidence to convince Ethan and Charlie, the elite shenaniganizers and supreme judges of all things animated shenaniganery, that the Caped Crusader Caper, episode 15 of the new Scooby-Doo movies, released December 16th, 1972, directed by William Hanna and Joseph Barbera, is the definitive leader of episodic shenanigans as covered on the worldwide podcasting phenom that is Mysteries in the Machine. In this essay, we'll get to it, but
that is a very compelling opening statement.
I hope that you are willing to join me on this ride, because it is going to get, I think shenanigans is the best way to put it.
Yeah, the shenanigans abound.
One thing I wanted to clear up that I touched on briefly in the, well, not so briefly. We talked a lot about a Batman before we actually got into the episode, but we discussed how the dynamic Scooby-Doo affair, the last Scooby-Doo Batman meetup, was pretty heavily inspired by the classic Batman TV show from 1966 with Adam West and Burt Ward
Mhm.
Yeah.
and Cesar Romero and Burgess Meredith, and but one thing that I failed to mention was that they're even more heavily inspired by Batman's animation debut in 1968 in The Adventures of Batman, which was part of the like serial Batman Superman hour, where they would like play like half-hour clips cut into like 6.5-minute segments back and forth of the animated Superman show and then Batman. And I actually, in preparation for this episode, went and watched a bunch of those Adventures of Batman episodes, and the animation and the voice casting is all pretty much copy and paste from
Hmm.
these Batman Scooby-Doo episodes. You've got Olin Sule again as Batman, Casey Kasem as Robin, Ted Knight, who actually plays like everybody. He plays Commissioner Gordon, he plays the Penguin, he plays the Scarecrow, I think, and a whole list. And then Larry Storch as the Joker, which interestingly enough, as I was looking at the IMDb for Caped Crusader Caper, which is the episode we'll be talking about today, Larry Storch is uncredited as the Joker, which I feel like is crazy considering that
Yeah.
this is basically a Penguin and Joker episode. Like they're the
Right.
main characters almost. And it's just
Huh.
weird that he was uncredited with how much dialogue and screen time his character had.
Yeah. You would think that they would credit him, considering he's one of the main antagonists of the episode.
Right.
Exactly.
Anyway, I think that's all of the housekeeping that I had. I'll turn the time back over to the rightful hosts of Mysteries in the Machine, and we can get started.
Okay.
Well, if we're trying to beat our current leader in shenanigans, Josh, we must tell you what is the leader in shenanigans right now.
Yes.
Has it changed? So here's what because I know that you are recording a few weeks in advance
Yes.
before you're releasing the episodes. And so
Mhm.
I, as a listener and big fan of the show, have most recently heard that the Ghost of the Red Baron had become the first place.
It is not.
That is no longer the case.
Oh my gosh. Okay, this is going to make it way harder. I thought okay, never mind. I'm just going to...
You thought you had a chance?
The episode that is actually the following episode after that, the Ghostly Creep from the Deep, with a grand total of 48, is our current shenanigan leader.
Okay.
Listen, the Harlem Globetrotters, they just kind of create shenanigans, so it's just a lot of basketball.
So the number is 49. That's what we're shooting for.
All right. I little less confident, but I still think we can beat that. I'm not going to tell you how many I have, because I've listed out every single shenanigan that I think that I can argue, but I know that like the way that you count shenanigans might be a little bit different, so
sure,
I'm not going to tell you exactly how many I have, just in case some of them get cut down as that's not shenanigan enough, or that doesn't count. And then I also have some other ones that I feel like you might count that I didn't count, so we shall see.
Okay.
Okay.
We will get there. But so as I said, the gang is around the campfire. Shaggy and Scooby are hungry, and they're like, "Hey, let's find some pizza." They're in the middle of the woods, right?
Number one, does that count as a shenanigan? Shaggy suggests to look for the pizza parlor in the middle of the forest as a midnight snack at 8 o'clock. Shenanigan number one, do you accept?
Lord, okay. So, Josh, the thing is, we define shenanigans as things that are so cartoonish they could never happen in real life. Charlie, does that apply only to physical actions, or does that apply to words as well?
Sometimes it applies to words, as I do kind of want to make the rule for this episode that every time a certain character says something, potentially counting as a shenanigan. Mostly because I'm making fun of myself, because I do this. But Shaggy wanting a pizza parlor. Maybe it's the fact that he's just like, why I want a pizza. Why wouldn't there be a pizza parlor in the woods? I'd eat there. Like, I could argue for that. I could argue for that being a little bit shenaniganery.
I mean, I've made pizza in the middle of the woods before, but I brought all that stuff with me.
I'll just have you know, I've prepared a 5-paragraph essay for each of these shenanigan points to just in case I need extra convincing.
Jesus. Okay.
And then in case that you have a rebuttal, I have a counter rebuttal, and so I'm just kidding.
3-hour episode coming to you guys.
I did not know that I was stepping into a debate with our premier Batman scholar here.
Where's your prepared PowerPoint for this?
Oh, did you not get it? I thought I was sharing my screen this whole time.
No, I didn't get it.
Oh,
What we need is like some sort of sound effect that each time that I successfully get one of these shenanigans to count, it can like ding, like the CinemaSins like counter or something.
Oh,
or like
yeah.
We
like
should
that
have been
one
doing
Vine.
that all along, honestly.
We should have. Okay, who's editing this one?
I need that one sound effect that's
It's
like
you,
another
Charlie.
one, thank you. Another one, thank you. Another one, thank you.
Oh my gosh.
And another one. And another
And another one.
We just grabbed different clips of somebody saying another one over again. Like we got DJ Khaled, we got Freddie Mercury saying another one bites the dust, we've got another one thank you, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, who's editing this episode? We'll just put it on
Charlie.
their plate. Like, so.
I can't do this. Oh my goodness.
So where are we at shenanigans wise?
We haven't even counted anything yet. We haven't counted anything yet.
I think
Ethan's
Ethan's against the pizza parlor joke being a
I
shenanigan.
personally am. I think like there's certain things that I'd be willing to let that bend on, but Josh, right out of the gate, I understand you're a very competitive person. I understand you want to take a commanding lead here. We're not there yet.
Okay.
But we will be very soon, because Scooby tries to pull the antlers off a deer because he thinks they're sticks.
That is a very strange looking deer, I'm not gonna lie. I
Yeah.
love that
And
they
then
call
Shaggy
it
says-
a horse.
I've never seen a horse with wood growing out of its head. Shenanigan number one.
Shenanigan number one.
Boom. Another one. Thank you.
It has the face of a bull, let me just say that.
Right.
That is not a deer either.
Yeah, that's a very buff deer if it's a deer.
That is an abomination of nature. So
then we hear some evil laughter. Ooh.
well, who else does evil laughter but the Joker himself? Haha.
I mean, he is the clown prince of crime. Clown, laugh.
Yeah.
So I mentioned when I came on last time, I had these two episodes, the Dynamic Scooby-Doo Affair and the Caped Crusader Caper, on VHS, and I probably watched that VHS over and over again more than any other piece of media, movie, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that of the two, this second one I preferred a little bit better. And that is
Okay.
for two
I
reasons.
agree.
One, because you immediately get Penguin and Joker, and they are a constant throughout the entire episode. In the first episode, they didn't really appear until halfway, and then they were only in it for a little bit, and then they disappeared, so they weren't in the climax because Mrs. Baker was the actual villain of the episode, so they were only kind of in that middle portion. But in this episode, you have Penguin shenanigans and Joker shenanigans the entire time. And the second, even more substantial reason why I like this is Professor Flaky, who at this
Correct.
point in the episode is being kidnapped by Joker and Penguin, and he is, I think, by far the most charming, likable, fun, entertaining character that has been introduced in Scooby-Doo thus far.
I've brought this up before, but this particular Professor Flaky, he reminds me of Mr. Magoo. Josh, I don't know if you know who Mr. Magoo is, or what Mr. Magoo was.
I've heard people refer. I've heard it as a reference, but I've never understood the reference.
Okay, so for those who need a refresher, Mr. Magoo was a cartoon. They had a live-action movie in the 90s with Leslie Nielsen as Mr. Magoo. Wild to think about that. But Mr. Magoo's whole thing is that he is super, super lucky, right? All this bad shit can happen around him, but he's just going on his merry way. That's his whole deal, and it's funny. So I see the vibes are similar, at least, with Professor Flaky.
What I really like about Professor Flaky is that, usually the way that these Scooby-Doo episodes are kind of set up is that the first new named character that you have ends up being the villain or the antagonist in some way, in some sort of twist.
Mm-hmm.
And so just kind of by the laws of Scooby-Doo, Professor Flaky should be a very suspicious character. He's brought in the very beginning. He's with Joker and Penguin. He's made to not be suspicious, almost as if there's other people that are the red herrings that you wouldn't. And then at the end, all of a sudden it's revealed that he was the bad guy. But
Right.
it subverts your expectations and doesn't give you that reveal, and turns out Professor Flaky was just face value, kind, sweet, thoughtful, like the whole time. And I love that for him.
That
Yeah.
would have been an interesting twist, though, if
It would
he
have
was the
been.
actual villain more than Joker and Penguin.
Yeah. So without getting like too ahead, Joker and Penguin have kidnapped Professor Flaky because he's an inventor. And they've heard he has a great invention, but they don't know what it is. And so they're trying to persuade him or force him to sell it to them.
Mhm.
It's very interesting. Like, you want to know where they picked him up in order to kidnap him, to bring him to their lair, and then interrogate him. Like,
Presumably at the rubber company, but we'll get to that later.
but like, you want to, it almost would have been better to just stay there.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. But anyways, the Joker and Penguin notice that campfire smoke from the gang's campfire. Shaggy and Scooby run back to camp, and the Joker's like, I'm gonna get these kids out of the forest. We don't need anybody poking around in here.
Well, why do they notice this? They notice
They
this
notice
because
it because Shaggy tries to back away and backs right into a porcupine and gets stabbed in the butt and yelps, which alerts Joker and Penguin to their presence.
which is our second shenanigan.
Shenanigan
number
number two.
Another one, thank you.
Wait, actually, that's the audio we use. It's just
Yeah, it's just Josh saying another one, thank you, over and over again.
So yeah, I don't think we get Professor Flaky doing his little bit quite just yet.
Not yet,
But-
no.
Right.
But when he does, okay, I identify with this man so hard. I can't stop messing up words.
Yep.
So
Alright, so Shaggy and Scooby are running on their way back to camp when they just get, bam, cage on top of them.
we have our first trap of the episode.
Yep. We are only, like, about 5 minutes into the episode.
Would you say that it is overtly cartoonish, right? That a cage drops from a Batcopter onto Shaggy and Scooby because Batman and Robin thought it was Joker and Penguin. Would you say maybe that's shenanigan?
You're like,
Totally.
oh, we mistook this teenage boy and his dog for two mass criminals. Like,
Mainly, where did the cage come from? Because I think the cage itself is bigger than the actual Batcopter.
yeah,
Or were they just like
I don't know.
hovering?
it is
carrying
very,
it.
It is very large.
It is quite large.
I do like that Batman and Robin come down and they apologize, thinking, oh, we're sorry. We thought that you were Joker and Penguin. And Shaggy says, it's a pleasure to be captured by good guys for a change.
You know,
They have
He's
been
right.
damsels before,
yes.
you know.
But Charlie, we still have the matter of the cage shenanigan to attend to. Are we willing to
Right.
to give it that?
What are you thinking, Ethan?
What I am thinking is this. The way that this cage is drawn, it still has a cable going up in the air that's attached to nothing. If it was attached to the Batcopter, the cable would have fallen to the ground, right? Or be attached to the Batcopter still. So I would be willing to let this be a shenanigan.
Okay, I will agree with this. Yeah.
Another one. Thank you. Thank you. I
Random
rest my
cage.
case on this point.
Falling on the children.
Yep.
Yikes.
Yep. So Batman is here in all of his cerulean glory, and Robin in his tight green shorts.
Not even shorts. Those are tidy whities.
It's almost a Speedo, really.
Yeah. Listen, he's got to show off the legs. Okay.
I mean, he is an
He's a
acrobat,
gymnast.
so like I get it. Like
got
you
nice
need freedom
legs.
of movement, but Charlie, that's a child.
The real question: does he shave his legs?
Probably.
For aerodynamics. That's the real
Listen,
question.
I used to be on the swim team in high school. I did that.
You go, Ethan. Go for it.
I had to
Like-
shave my legs when I played Buddy the Elf in Elf the Musical when my senior year in high school, so that I could wear tights without the tights hurting my legs, because I wore the tights once without shaving my
Valid.
legs, and then it pushed all of the leg hair up and like stood there, and my legs hurt really, really bad for like the next 2 days. And my math teacher, I was like complaining about this in the middle of calculus, and my math teacher was like, just shave your legs. And I was like, that's actually a great idea. So I did.
New piece of Josh lore just dropped.
complaining
Shout
about
out
wearing
Mrs.
tights in math
Summercorn.
class.
AP Calculus.
I also took calculus in high school. Shout out to Mr. Vince Laverne, my calculus
We
teacher.
will need picture evidence of you as Buddy the Elf.
Yes.
It was my Discord profile picture for the entire month of December, but
Oh,
I
really?
can send it again.
I thought that was just a picture of Buddy the Elf.
I was gonna say, doesn't mean that I noticed that was you as Buddy the Elf.
That was me.
I
as
thought it
Buddy
was just
the
Buddy
Elf.
the Elf.
I also have a picture of me as Buddy the Elf edited into a Christmas tree made out of Buddy the Elves that aren't me. Let's see if
That's
I can find
wonderful.
Josh is
Sorry,
a shenanigan.
continue.
Yeah.
I
Josh himself
I told
is a
you
shenanigan.
that not only should you be prepared for watching this Scooby-Doo episode, but you should be more prepared for me coming on this episode to talk to you about it, because I was bringing shenanigans.
Oh, yeah.
You
Not
are.
only within the episode, but outside of it.
Yes.
We have shenanigans. We get another one because Batman has a bat cookie on him.
As he should. Shaggy asked for it. He's like,
He pulls
Can I
it
have a bat
out of
cookie?
his utility belt.
Right. Like this is a gadget that Batman needs at all times. Is a bat cookie.
Another one. Thank you.
listen, what if he throws the cookie to distract some kind of animal or something that's trying to,
Now-
do something?
Is Batman pulling the bat cookie out of his utility belt a separate shenanigan from him giving it to Shaggy, who, as he thanks Batman, the cookie is eaten by
Yes.
Scooby. Shaggy
Yes.
then looks to the cookie and says, "Oh, there must be a lot of mosquito or something." He thinks it was the
The
mosquitoes.
mosquitoes will eat anything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are two separate shenanigans in my mind. Charlie, do you agree
Absolutely.
with that?
Yes, those are two separate actions. One is Batman, one is Scooby.
Another one. Thank you.
I feel like it definitely becomes a different thing when it's two different characters anyway. But
Yeah,
I
the
love
ownership
fact
has
that,
passed of the cookie.
the fact that Shaggy's just like, oh yeah, the mosquitoes ate the bat cookie because bats eat mosquitoes.
That's
so
a
funny.
layer I had not considered.
It's like
That's all I was thinking.
have you seen how people will make fake dragonfly and they'll attach them to their hat or to their backpack while they're hiking, and all of the other bugs and mosquitoes will leave them alone because they'll think it's a predator?
I've never done that. I need to do that.
I know, I haven't
Now
tried it either, but I definitely want
understand.
to.
That's like
You'd think that they would see a bat cookie and think it's a
Yeah.
predator and leave, but obviously Shaggy hasn't. He's not on the same side of TikTok as I am.
apparently, and neither am I because this is the first I'm hearing about it.
We all need to get on the same side of TikTok as Josh.
I'm surprised that Josh and I aren't, is the thing.
Yeah, we are so similar.
Because, okay, so Josh, what you just described with the backpack and the dragonfly, that's like putting out an owl to scare away small animals, but portable.
Yeah.
Like, Charlie, have you seen the fake owls that people have,
I have not seen this.
Or it's the same thing. We had a neighbor. It's also something that I saw on TikTok but hadn't tried. But we had a neighbor before we moved in the same apartment. They had crocheted a hornet's nest, and they put the the fake crocheted hornet's nest outside of their front door. And that, because bees and hornets and wasps are territorial, that prevented any actual bees from coming and building a nest anywhere close to the building.
That is wild. I'm gonna remind myself in the future to ask Kelly to crochet a hornet's nest for our future home.
My goodness.
Anyway, the Batcopter takes off unceremoniously in pursuit of Joker and Penguin.
And the kids are also, they end up going searching because Shaggy's like, oh, I saw this cave earlier. Maybe that's where Joker and Penguin are, hiding. Clearly, it's in this cave. So they go off. Also, Shaggy's in the front seat, which does not happen very often, so I noted that.
No.
But, of course, there's a log in the road because, Joker and Penguin
Why
don't
wouldn't
want
there
anyone-
be?
They don't want anyone following them. So the gang has to go out and inspect the log, see if they can roll it away. And this is where the first of our masked villains shows up.
As
The
I
dry
put it
hat.
in our chat, who's this Lorax-looking motherfucker?
That's a great
I
description.
love-
I think without even having to go and Google what the dryad looks like, Lorax looking motherfucker is it puts in the correct image into their head. So now
Right,
they're on the
like-
same page as us.
It's like if the Lorax were a tree and also evil.
Yes.
And
It's
I'm
like
in
if the
love
Lorax
with the
fucked the
aesthetic.
tree and their offspring was this dryad.
That is exactly what I was thinking, Josh. That is exactly what I was thinking.
I'm just
And
in love with the aesthetic here.
Yeah.
the noise. Wait. No. Never mind. Not the noise that the dryad makes, but the noise that a different villainous character makes has been playing in my head on repeat since I was like 6 years old.
I can
And
think
it
of
happens
Amazing.
two separate times.
I can think of two other villains in this episode that would have happened. Charlie mentioned one of them, and we'll get to that. So Scooby gets scared, dives into the log. We have another shenanigan, folks,
Another one. Thank you.
as the
Me
gang
too.
proceeds to roll the log off the cliff into the water
'Cause
with
no
Scooby
one
inside of it.
saw. No one saw Scooby get inside the log. His stealth is too good.
Well, yeah,
okay?
he's a rogue. Of course, he's going to be
He's a
good.
rogue. Yeah, so then the gang tries to drive away, and then Shaggy's just like, guys, Scooby? Where's Scooby? Scooby-Doo! Where are you? You know.
Wrong
Roll
series,
credits.
Shaggy, but keep looking.
So he just
And the gang
hangs out
leaves him.
there. Well, the rest of the smart gang leaves him. Shaggy is still trying to figure out where Scooby is, and he finds him in the log on the bottom of a ravine.
Mm-hmm. Isn't this the point where, like, before they show that Shaggy found Scooby down at the bottom of the cliff in the water, the rest of the gang is following the dryad in the
Yes.
mystery machine,
Yeah.
and then the dryad jumps off of the cliff and starts running through the treetops like he's Tarzan or
Yeah.
George of the Jungle. Is that
That's
a
the
shenanigan?
vibes.
Yeah,
Yeah?
Wonderful.
Okay.
it's pretty insane.
Another one. Thank you. Fred's like, he's traveling through the treetops. We'll never catch him.
Yeah, and then of course he appears right next to Shaggy.
As Shaggy's trying to reach Scooby-Doo in the water with a stick and pull him out, the dryad jumps onto the branch that Shaggy's standing on and scares them both, instead of coming out of the water, to jump further in the water and swim across.
Yeah, they swim the other direction instead. So it's great.
Amazing.
Meanwhile, the smart gang is like, they see the Batcopter and they start signaling them. They're like, weird stuff is going on. We're gonna go towards this cave. There's a weird guy, and Shaggy and Scooby are gone. So, But I specifically love that Batman's just like, we caped Crusaders, give top priority to the safety of a boy and his dog.
Yeah, I love that. And he says that like 2 or 3 times in the episode.
Right. Yeah.
I love Batman. He's just
This
a good
particular iteration of Batman is just so goofy. Just like, I don't know. This is the like definitely the clown era of the Joker, and Batman has matched the energy.
guy. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Batman almost feels like babysitter entertainment.
Yeah.
That is like very Adam, because I also watched some of the Adam West Classics show in preparation for this episode. And there's so many times where it's just like, this Batman was written for 8 to 10-year-olds, maybe even younger than that. Like, there was an episode where Commissioner Gordon calls Wayne Manor because there's no bat signal in that show. It's a red phone that Commissioner Gordon picks up, and it's a phone in Wayne Manor that they pick up and says like, we need you. It's the Penguin. Robin, Dick Grayson, gets really excited and is running and runs into his aunt, who doesn't know that they're Batman, and is just like, oh, we just heard that the bass are biting. We're gonna go fishing. And then she looks to Bruce Wayne, and Bruce Wayne is just like, what can I do? Well, the boy loves his fish. Like, we're just, it's just very, very campy, cartoony, like almost like babysitter. It's awesome. I think at this point, it cuts to the rest of the gang in the mystery machine. Is this when they're trying to drive over the bridge?
Correct.
To cross the river?
Okay. I think that this next shenanigan is equal to the house in the last Batman episode.
Yes.
It's the same vibe.
Yeah, because like it's rotating, but instead of up and down, it's rotating left to right.
So we have a troll bridge, one might say, because it's a covered bridge where at the bottom of it there is Penguin dressed as a troll and doing his
spoilers,
little
Charlie.
Oh, whatever. You know it's going to be Joker and Penguin.
Yes.
Okay, so I have this as a separate shenanigan. You have the dryad, the Lorax-looking tree motherfucker, and the troll in their costumes. They take off their masks, and underneath their costume masks is the Joker and Penguin in their costumes. Like the Joker in full Joker makeup and the Penguin in his top hat, Is that a
How
shenanigan?
does he?
I think so.
Yes, it is. It absolutely is. How does he fit the top hat under the troll mask? That's the biggest
Real
question I
question.
have right now.
Another one. Thank you.
All
But
right.
it's just the fact that this troll man is just turning a little wheel at the bottom, and the covered bridge turns around as the mystery machine is inside the bridge. Does the physics of this happening?
Right. Do they not feel themselves turning at
Do they not
all?
see the light at the end of the tunnel changing to a different scenery?
I
I
guess
feel
not.
like you'd see that.
The gang is exceptionally dumb in this episode, I feel.
Apparently.
Exceptionally dumb.
Yeah. Cut to something that happens later where you were like, oh my god, really? What?
Uh-huh. We'll get there.
Another one. Thank you. At this point, I think so. First, the troll is rotating the bridge while Shaggy and Scooby are running, right, to get it turned around. Or no.
First it's...
So first it's the mystery machine, and it just happens once. He turns
Yep.
it, so they're driving, it turns, they keep driving, they don't even realize until they end up back at camp. And then they're
Right.
like,
Yeah, because
the
he's just
road
trying to
must have
get
turned
them...
around.
Yep.
He's just trying to get them from going towards their secret lair.
Mm-hmm.
This is when the Dryad, who is revealed to be the Joker, meets up with the troll, who is revealed to be Penguin. And the Penguin says that the gang was fooled by foul play. And then the Joker says he turned them about. And turnabout is fair play. And I think that this, have you ever heard that phrase, turnabout is fair play?
No, I am not familiar.
Okay. There's a couple of jokes. That's another thing that I love about this episode is how much wordplay is incorporated into the dialogue. And I feel like Joker especially is really, really witty with his
Sure.
lines. But a lot of
Yeah.
them are 60s, 70s, older isms. And this is one of
Sure.
them. Turnabout is fair play, which just, I don't know, it kind of means if you, to turn something back on someone is fair. If you've been harmed by someone, it's fair to harm them back in an eye for an eye,
Yeah.
kind of thing. It's along those lines where turnabout is fair play. And so I think that this
Okay.
just Penguin's they've been fooled by foul play, and he's but you turned them about, and turnabout is fair play. So I just think that that's very funny and clever.
Sure.
It just...
Yeah, I
The
didn't
next
understand
one-
why that was supposed to be funny, so...
The next one's immediately after that, they see Shaggy and Scooby coming, and Joker says he'll play a hand of bridge while Scooby and Shaggy play the dummies. Do you understand what that's?
I have played bridge before.
Yeah. So this is in reference to the card game Bridge, where they're talking about we're going to mess with this actual rotating toll bridge / troll bridge, and Scooby and Shaggy will be the dummies, but he's making it a reference to the card game Bridge, in which you are paired up, and when one player declares the match or whatever, the other player is the dummy in the round. So
Josh,
it's very clever.
I think you should edit the Scoobypedia to add these things to
You
the
should.
trivia. Because
Is that not there?
Those are not things that are on the trivia, but those are things that probably should be.
It should be, yeah.
I honestly, I kind of just assumed that they would be on there.
I
No.
haven't read it, so I have no idea.
I usually take a short glance to see, but no, those are not there.
So when Joker says, I'll play a hand of bridge, they'll play the dummies, this is when they switch places, and now the Joker is rotating the crank, and the Penguin, as the troll, goes up and stands at one end of the bridge as they're rotating, and this is when he makes a really, really earwormy sound in order to scare Shaggy and Scooby to run the other way. And I don't know if there's a way that... Exactly. If there's a way for you to clip that sound and put it in for the listeners, but it's blah, 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 blah. And it's been stuck in my head for years and years and years. And I don't know why. It's nothing particularly awesome about it. It's just, it itches my brain in a really weird way.
I enjoy the weird gremlin vibes of Joker and Penguin in this episode. I'm not gonna lie.
Both of them have so much gremlin energy happening in this episode in particular.
And they
And
just
so,
keep going around and around and around with Scooby and Shaggy here.
How
Who,
many
like-
shenanigans is this?
Unlike
Okay, how many times to
previously,
go?
where they rotated the bridge and the gang in the Mystery Machine didn't realize it until they got back to camp, this separate shenanigan that's happening with Shaggy and Scooby on foot, they get to one end, see the troll goes, "Ah, blah, 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 blah." They turn around, they get spooked, they run the opposite way. Joker on the bottom starts cranking, rotating it so that when they get to the other side of the bridge, they're back on the same side with the troll, who then again goes, "Ah, blah, 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 blah," and that just like happens, I don't know how many times, but it's so funny.
Okay, I have 4. Let me see. It happens a couple more times. 5, 6. I'm only counting times when we see the bridge actually rotate, not just the Joker cranking the bridge.
Oh, I was just counting the times when they saw the troll. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh,
They only
okay.
actually run into the troll because they
Twice,
got
I
turned
think.
around twice.
Another one, thank you. Another one, thank you.
3 times. 3 times.
Well, the first time he just appears behind them, but I
Yeah.
can count that as well.
Another one, thank you.
And then the last time, instead of meeting the troll, Joker and Penguin have run off because the smart gang grabbed Batman and Robin when they realized something was going on and dipped. So the bridge is just out. It's going out into the ravine, and they just fell.
Yeah,
That's a separate shenanigan, but
Yeah.
I also think that this is a shenanigan because Batman and Robin come in to see what's going on. They see the Joker and Penguin in their Dryad and troll costumes, and they start coming at them in the Batcopter. That spooks Joker and Penguin away, so Joker stops cranking it while the bridge is halfway rotated in the middle of the river. And Shaggy comes out, and he goes, "Huh, there must have been a flood," and then they fall in the river. And I think that is
hilarious.
definitely
Yep.
a shenanigan.
All right.
Yeah,
Another one, thank you.
but
It's on.
Shaggy and Scooby have to turn the bridge back around because the Mystery Machine is also coming. Scooby immediately realizes what is happening here. Shaggy's just like, obviously the bridge turns around and it makes this wheel go around, right? And Scooby's just like,
I love
"Oh,
that.
Shaggy." So he just, he does the thing, he fixes it, and the gang meets up, they get in the Mystery Machine, and we're in a chase. We're chasing the mythical creatures, and then they disappear.
Also, why didn't Fred see that the bridge wasn't facing the correct way? He's driving. That's his whole job.
Fred gets
Fred's
lost. He's never looking
perception.
at the road. He's never looking at road signs in order to get to where he's going.
That's
Fred's
true.
survival and perception are just awful.
They
Clearly.
are absolutely terrible.
So,
Oh.
yeah, Batman and Robin, they're in the Batcopter following the Joker and Penguin running on foot underneath them, and then they disappear in a split second. And then, separately, the gang meets up with Shaggy and Scooby, and they jump in the back of the Mystery Machine and leave. And then the next scene, it cuts to them finding a cave.
But they're just like, "Shaggy, this is so tiny. This is a terrible cave. Dude."
Well, but then we get one of Charlie's favorite gags in Scooby-Doo.
You
the
know it.
rotating wall.
It's not just a rotating wall. More than that, it's combined rotating wall with the same thing as one of them accidentally falls into a trap or something, or accidentally finds a secret door. It's that. We've accidentally found a secret door, and it is a rotating wall.
And the rotating wall only rotates if the mechanism by which you make it rotate is that you accidentally find the secret wall by tripping over a rock.
Apparently, I assume they could have
Wild.
done it a slightly different way, but they were all like, "You know what? We have to just follow suit because this is the surefire way to make it work. We have to trip over this rock."
That's a shenanigan.
Yeah,
Is it
every
a
time
shenanigan
happens.
each time it happens?
Each time.
Because first Shaggy accidentally trips over the rock, hits
Okay.
the wall, and it rotates, and he disappears. Another one, thank you. And then
Mhm.
Scooby reenacts what he saw happen to the rest of the gang and trips over the rock, hits the wall. Another one, thank you. And then Velma puts it together like, oh, you need to trip. So then she goes and does what Scooby just did, trips over the rock. Another one, thank you. And then finally, Fred and Daphne trip over the rock together and rotate. So that's 4 separate times. Another one, thank you.
I would count it as 4 because like Daphne and Fred do kind of do it at the same time.
Okay.
So
I don't know if you want to count that as a sequence or 4 separate shenanigans, so
I would count it as 4 separate times because like they're all kind of slowly figuring it out. They're each of them slowly is given the brain cell.
Yeah, like once they've passed that wall, the brain cell transitions to somebody else.
What's up with Scooby having the brain cell like for
who gave him the brain cell? That is irresponsible. Velma, my girl, don't do that ever again.
He passed it back to her so she could figure out the wall. But, she does have it taken away shortly thereafter.
I also love when Velma, for some reason, I don't know, when Velma trips into she realizes what is going on, but then she trips into the wall and then she goes, uh-oh, bye, as it rotates. And I don't know if that's her forgetting that this was intentional and genuinely saying uh-oh, or if she's like taunting Fred and Daphne on the other side for not getting in. I don't know. It just, I can't tell if it's a genuine uh-oh or if she's taunting, but just the way she's like, uh-oh, bye is so funny to me.
Probably because she didn't realize you'd actually have to trip.
Yeah.
She was like, oh, shit, I'm falling. Also, the door's moving. Ah! Yeah, so the gang splits up and, Smart Gang is going farther off into the tunnel. Shaggy and Scooby are, looking around, just right outside this door. And then we transition to the baddies who have their, their cute little costumes on hooks. God, which is so cute. Listen.
Yeah. Listen, this version of Joker and Penguin are a couple.
They're
100 million trillion %. Specifically because of the little pet names that they call each other.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't know if that counts as a shenanigan. For at least one, every time that Joker calls Penguin Pangy Wangy, that's gotta be a shenanigan. That's so... Oh my gosh.
Impeccable.
It's amazing.
But now, listeners, this is when the shenanigans start to take an uptick because Professor Flaky's bit, which he does at least once every scene he's in, just mixing up random syllables in words in a sentence.
Now,
and it's somehow so charming.
Do you finally understand my joke from I don't know how many days ago? But
oh, yeah.
I sent a joke in our group chat.
You did? Hold on.
Yes. I was like, I'm ready for the sighing flute. And Joss was like, spoilers!
And then, yeah, Ethan, and then you sent the...
Oh, I said the gift that said, what? The what?
You sent the
sighing
gift.
Flute.
Yeah,
so yeah, this is what's known as a spoonerism, which is when you mix up the starting sounds of words. And Professor Flaky almost exclusively speaks in spoonerisms. And I have a list of each spoonerism that he says. And he says a spoonerism 31 separate times in this episode.
Jesus Christ.
31 separate times. Okay.
But it's
we'll get to them.
And it's just so funny, the way I think who plays Professor Flaky? I think it's also the same guy who plays Scooby.
Let me see.
It is.
It is. Don Messick.
And it's just so he's just like a sighing flute, and then they're like a sighing flute. He's like a flying suit. When you put it on, you can air through the fly, you can flare through the eye, coming through the rye, fly through the air. It's just so perfect. The line delivery each time is just wonderful. It's charming. It's you just gotta love Professor Flaky. He's the best. He makes this without him, it still would be an incredible episode with Batman and Robin and the Joker and Penguin. But all of a sudden you throw in this new character in Professor Flaky, And it just elevates this to an unbelievable, like almost divine level of shenanigans. It's
He's just a
incredible.
weird little guy.
God, that's beautiful.
This is the definition of a weird little guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We love this weird old man who exclusively speaks in spoonerisms.
So that's why I was telling you I didn't count any of. I would love to count this at least all together as one shenanigan that's like a running bit through the episode. But then Charlie was like, "You got to count it each time," and I'm like, "I didn't even count any
Yes.
of this, and I already have a huge list." But all of a sudden, if we're counting 31 additional instances as shenanigans, that's ridiculous. That's crazy. But I'm down.
Are we doing it, Ethan? Are we
doing it?
This?
I don't know, because like part of me wants to be very meta and be like, we should only count this as one because, you know, Josh is trying to compete for the most shenanigans in a given episode. And if we do this, if we allow them to be individual shenanigans every single time, he will get that. I can tell you that right now. We're not even halfway through the episode yet, and I can already guarantee that.
While you're pondering it, let me just read the rest of them. So sighing flute, air through the fly, flare through the eye, coming through the rye. Then he says, carrying out their plaid man instead of mad plan, spotted the right touch instead of touch the right spot. I'm Professor Fluky instead of, Professor Fluky instead of Professor Flaky. Lag a grib and leg a grab for grab a leg. I felt like Crossington washing the Delaware instead of Washington crossing the Delaware. Then he says poker and Jangwin instead of Joker and Penguin. Rutham Gobber Factory instead of Gotham Rubber Factory. Fettle of Kish instead of Kettle of Fish. Locks with a Babel instead of Box with a Label. The Hope We've Been Breaking For instead of Break We've Been Hoping For. Gotham Giving Thanks City Day Parade instead of Gotham City Thanksgiving Day Parade. On the Flop Tour instead of Top Floor. A Really Late Grab instead of Great Lab. All Lab the Lock Door instead of Lock the Lab Door. Bilmobat instead of Batmobile, Dynamic Dio instead of Dynamic Duo, Root Steps on the Foof instead of Footsteps on the Roof, Janker and Pogwin again instead of Joker and Penguin, Sighing Flute again instead of Flying Suit, Button the Landing Press instead of Press the Landing Button, and then Land the Pressing Button. And then he's right at the end, he has like 4 or 5 in a row for Shaggy and Scooby. He says Scabby and Shoogie, Saggy and Stooby, Snaggy and Stoopum, and Shaggo and Skeeby. And then the last one, he says, I always liked Shaggy because he is dumb to kind animals instead of kind to dumb animals.
Kind of dumb animals. Dumb! Like my partner. My ex-partner.
Oh, I mean, we're getting ahead. Like, that's at the end.
Yeah.
But when that specifically happens, I have a screen grab where just that screenshot has to be a shenanigan, and I'll send it to you.
Okay. Charlie, do we want to give every single spoonerism its own shenanigan?
Okay, so when he's specifically struggling to say, like, one thing, and it becomes, like, multiple spoonerisms, I think those should be counted as, like, the same
together.
one.
Okay.
Those should be counted together instead of separate ones.
That's a good compromise, I think. I'll let Josh do the math on that because he already did. But
so in this scene alone, we have sighing flutes.
Another one, thank you.
We have Plaid Man.
Another one, thank you.
And what was it? He's trying to touch the right spot or something. I lost it.
Yeah, because after Joker and Penguin interrogate him, they realize that there's teenagers coming in. They go to like intervene, and the Penguin uses his umbrella to touch a specific spot on the wall, which makes the wall open. And so then Professor Flaky goes and he's just like randomly touching spots on the wall. Eventually, in a later scene, succeeds and then says, I touched the right spot, but he says, I spotted the right touch.
Okay, so that's 2 in that scene. That's 2
yeah, 2 in that scene. Okay, so we'll do that.
And then, so we go to Batman and Robin, who are like, how did these forest creatures who are actually Joker and Penguin disappear? Like, they're not really magic, obviously. Like, clearly this Batman has not met the other magical people of the DC world. But
this particular version of Batman does not know Zatanna or John Constantine, so...
No, he does not. but they find a handle in the middle of this, like, just grassy
This
area.
cliff.
There's nothing here.
Yeah.
Pull it up. It's like, oh look, there's a secret passageway, a secret cavern, hidden right under here.
A secret tunnel, if you will.
I just removed all of the subsequent spoonerisms that are like all part of like one gag, and there's 24 now instead of 31.
Okay. Good to know. We will get to them. So, the Smart Gang has been found by Joker and the Penguin, and they sick a mechanical bat on them.
They're not the Smart Gang anymore.
No, the brain cell has left the building.
It's gone.
Specifically, Joker and Penguin realize that the gang is teamed up with Batman, so he releases this giant mechanical scary bat to make them less fond of Batman so that they're not a team anymore. Like, that was like...
It's very cute.
I just feel like it's so weird. Like
the
we're
thing
going to chase
is,
him with a scary bat, and what, is that going to make them think that Batman had something to do with it? Like, that's just weird.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, it's a cave. Like, what else are you going to bring out in a cave anyway? It's going to be a bat.
Yeah.
So they're just like, maybe they won't like Batman so much if they have a bat attacking them. Ha!
I mean, well, they don't know how Batman got his powers in the first, or got his inspiration in the first place.
Got his powers?
Oh
he
my
got
gosh.
his powers through his parents dying.
That reminds me.
Yeah.
I picked up this like Batman and Scooby-Doo Mysteries comic book when I was in New York, and
we love it.
There's one part where like there's 12 total issues, and this first volume is just the first 6. And then each issue has like a different iteration of Batman or a different iteration of Robin from like the history of comics. And in the last one in this volume, it has Pup Named Scooby-Doo version of Mystery Incorporated. So like all of them as kids. And because they were talking about how like through the course of this, they're talking to Batman like, oh, we've like solved so many mysteries together, like I can't believe, and they actually reference the Dynamic Scooby-Doo affair when they're like, Robin is like, yeah, it seems like forever ago when the first time we teamed up to when Joker and Penguin dressed as skeletons to hide their counterfeiting ring and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then and then they like argue about like these other times that were first, and then Batman's like, you're wrong, the first time that we teamed up was before I made the decision to be Batman. And it was like when Bruce Wayne was still a kid, before he was still trying to be like a crime fighter, but hadn't like come up with the Batman identity yet, and is with Harvey, like Master Detective Harvey Harris. And then let me see if I can just find it, like hold it up. But like there's this panel where Batman is saying like if he had stuck with the Mystery Machine, or if he had stuck with Mystery Incorporated instead of like going their separate ways, he would have ended up as Chicken Man instead of Batman. And it's so funny.
No.
Man. Oh man. Wow. Did not expect that at all.
He would though. Incredible. Because he would have named himself after Shaggy and Scooby.
And then he goes, you know what? Maybe it was for the best that we didn't stay friends.
Yeah. That's incredible.
Yeah, okay, so back to the weirdness of this bat.
Yeah. During all of this, bat shenanigans happen.
Yes. Just a few.
Yep. So we get one of the mechanical bats knocking a boulder away from Velma, because apparently they can do that without completely breaking.
Another one, thank you. Real quick, when the bat first releases, Velma breaks the fourth wall. She looks directly into the camera, and she says, I don't believe in ghosts, but I do believe in bats, and then runs. Is that a shenanigan?
Charlie?
Fourth wall breaks?
The problem is that Josh tempts me every time. He tempts me so much. Ethan, you have to be the logical one.
God,
in this relationship.
Okay.
You know that.
This is true. I am the more logical one of the two of us. Fourth wall breaks do not happen very often in Scooby-Doo. That being said, I do not believe this is a shenanigan.
Okay, we can move on.
That's okay. We have the boulder.
Mm-hmm. Who is conflicted about running away from a somewhat blind girl.
Yes. Velma was hiding behind it? ? It's unclear, but regardless, it's wonderful. And then Daphne is hanging on a stalactite. When the bat comes near her, she like goes down it like it's a pole and ends up in a pit on top of Fred's shoulders.
They knew what they were doing.
Fred goes, "What's up?" And Daphne says, "Never mind up, get down." Another one, "Thank you."
So I think I don't know if that's at least 2.
Yeah, I count it as 2. One for Velma and one for Daphne.
Yeah. Also, I do love that Joker calls Penguin the Emperor of Evil because Emperor Penguin. Haha.
I also have that because I have a list of Flaky-isms, I have a list of Penguin-isms, I have a list of Batman-isms and Robin-isms and Joker-isms. And quite so, you Emperor of Evil is on my list of Joker-isms.
Beautiful.
Yeah, in the next scene, he calls him Pengy Wangy, which, wonderful.
Oh, my heart. He's still my heart. I love Pengy Wangy so much.
Someone needs to draw some Joker and Penguin fan art for us.
I am sure it exists. I am sure it exists.
In the Adventures of Batman cartoon from 1968, there's only a few episodes where Joker and Penguin are both in the same episode. And I watched one of them where the Joker and Penguin and the Riddler try to like trick Bruce Wayne. They like think that Bruce Wayne is Batman, so they throw Bruce, because they like Bruce Wayne and Batman have the same birthday, so we're gonna throw them a birthday party and invite both of them. And
this is amazing.
Bruce Wayne outsmarts them, and both Bruce Wayne and Batman do show up to the party. But like, I was trying to see if in those episodes where Joker and Penguin are together in that show, if Joker also calls him Pengy Wangy. And I didn't hear Pengy Wangy, but I did hear a few Pengies. So this is definitely a love that my brain this is what I was trying to say. It's a love that transcends just this specific media. It's cross-platform.
Yeah. So. I definitely thought that, like, because they appeared in these 2 Scooby-Doo episodes, that they were like a partner duo in Batman. Yeah. Like, Scooby-Doo, how dare you do this to me? And make me think that they were, like, besties.
Yeah.
If not,
it's
lovers.
Actually quite a bit of a rarity for them to team up across Batman media.
No, they're in love.
Even in the live-action Adam West Batman movie, like the spin-off movie from the show, they're both in it, but it's barely like a team up. Like the Joker isn't, like, he's there, but he's not even really a part of like what Penguin's plans are.
All right. So now they're messing with Shaggy and Scooby. They lock them in. Shaggy and Scooby do not notice this whatsoever. But then they're like, okay, well, we gotta do something. That's not interesting. Like, they haven't noticed anything. Let's get them into the boat. Let's scare them the heck away. And this is where my guy is here. My guy of the episode. Weird sheet ghost. You've entered my term. The term of gloom. Away! Away! Or you meet your doom. Blah, 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 blah.
That was...
This is the second...
impeccable impersonation. That was incredible, Charlie.
That was so incredible. Like... God, who played the Penguin in this episode? Ted Knight would be proud of you for that.
Like, oh no, it was the Larry Storch.
Larry Storch was the Joker.
Yeah, it says the ghost.
I thought the Penguin was voicing the ghost.
I don't know.
Sorry, Larry Storch or Ted Knight would be proud of you.
Yeah. One thing that when they're messing with Shaggy and Scooby, the Penguin says, as a penguin, I have an affinity for seals, so let's seal them in the cave. And I'm thinking, what like seals and penguin, but like no penguin in its right mind would have an affinity for seals because seals are their number one predator. They're definitely afraid of seals. I think the penguin just like got his biology facts mixed up.
You never went to a science class. Come on.
Probably not. I don't think Mr. Oswald Cobblepot bothers himself with accurate biological information.
Probably not.
What is the penguin? Colin Farrell's penguin. Isn't his name just Oz Cobb?
It's Oz Cobb. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Did you ever end up seeing the Penguin show yet?
I did watch it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It reminded me of The Sopranos in a lot of ways.
Yeah. I loved it too for that same reason. I just thought it was incredible. I I think that is like a rare instance of like a spin-off show that will increase your enjoyment of the original
I
media.
I
I think that
agree.
like the more time you get with that iteration of the Penguin, the more you will enjoy his performance in the Batman.
Yeah, at first I was like, oh, this is just, a spin-off show to cash grab on the Batman, but no, it impressed me.
I thought that
So,
Sophia Falcone was one of like the like most compelling, interesting, like nuanced female characters that I've seen put to screen in a long time. I
yeah.
think her arc was just incredible. So I highly recommend to any listeners that are like even adjacently slightly interested in Batman that might not have seen that show to give it a chance.
I wonder if Ray has seen it. Oteg Ray, Charlie.
I am not sure if they have. They're definitely more into cartoon and comic versions, so I'm
Got
not
it.
sure.
Okay. Well,
Well,
anyway, back to our regularly scheduled bullshit.
the ghost
We
scares them. That's where we were.
yes.
So they run immediately into the wall that was sealed. That might be a shenanigan.
Another one, thank you.
We have run into the wall. Shit, we have nowhere to go. Where can we possibly go to get out of here? The boat? Let's use the boat.
And Shaggy says, I'm going to break the world speed record, and gets in the boat and starts rowing so fast that he snaps the oars in half. That's a shenanigan.
Yeah.
If I've ever seen one.
Yeah. Yes.
Which,
agreed.
by this point in the episode, I've seen quite a few. Another one, thank you. So
23 so far, just in case anybody was wondering.
Oh my goodness. And now we go into the fearsome phantom fountain, as Penguin calls it, because, one, this is murky green water, and two, he's made it turn into a weird ghost guy, maybe? How does he have a
they
face?
like have a
How?
fountain coming out of the water, like it reminds me of Phantasmic, which is a nighttime show that they do at Disneyland or Disney World, where then they project images onto the mist fountain. And I feel like that's kind of what is going on there. They have a fountain coming out of the water and they project a ghost face onto it to make it really spooky. And of course,
Charlie,
the water's green.
Charlie, you're the Disney expert here. Is that?
Oh, I know all about this.
No, I'm just saying.
All of a sudden, the water comes out, and then Mickey comes out. Bum ba-dum bum 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 bum
ba-dum. Yeah, it's phantasmic because Mickey.
Oh, okay.
Ha 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 ha.
Haha.
Some imagination, huh?
All right, but we get Professor Flaky. He's back. He's opened the door. That's one spoonerism for him in this scene.
Another one, thank you.
Make that two.
Another one, thank you.
Oh, but did you count Scooby and Shaggy jumping out of the boat, thinking that they are, like, drowning? For a second?
Oh, no. Hold on.
Another one, thank you.
There
Is
we
this
go.
when they're on the shore, I think they like swim back to shore or something, then the rest of the gang comes in with flashlights, and Shaggy and Scooby get spooked by the lights, so they dive back into the water, and right before they hit the water, Daphne says, "It's us." And Shaggy and Scooby stop mid-air and reverse back onto their feet on the ground.
That's not what I was talking about, but that's definitely a shenanigan.
That's another one. I was just thinking about when they're, like, swimming through the water to get away from the Phantom.
Oh, and they think that they're drowning, and then they just stand up, and then they start running, and then it's deep again, and they go back into the water.
Yeah, it's just a little sequence of that. Shaggy also does faint when Professor Flaky comes over briefly, and he goes headfirst into the water.
Another one, thank you.
Where
that's incredibly dangerous.
Yeah,
to pass out face first into the water.
Yeah, that's why you don't try to fall asleep in a bathtub or a hot tub.
It's true. This is very true.
Well, it was like I was watching a video, and apparently a guy stayed in a hot tub for 9 hours to the point where his insides were starting to sous vide.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, he said it hurt a lot.
Well, yeah, you're just cooking yourself.
Yep.
That's when you turn into soup.
Listen, the ocean is a soup. It's fine. Charlie, no!
You're welcome.
No.
Okay. So Shaggy and Scooby have met Flaky, and then we go to Batman and Robin, who are, coming down into the cave, and they find the kids being chased by the giant bat, who now has a
A
pointy
stalactite.
Yeah, stalactite, and it's just like attacking them with it.
Yeah, I guess trying to stab them or flatten them or something.
Yeah, but luckily we have our batarangs. We hit the bats, and hey, look, it was fake, guys. You're fine.
Wow.
I mean, clearly they should have been scared by it because it did, pick up a stalactite, threaten them with it, and also, move a whole damn boulder. So the gang is about to meet up, but Joker and Penguin have seen Batman and Robin. They're like, well, we have to leave, I guess. We're just done playing around with these kids because the fun is over. And they go up in an elevator that it just, it disappears. But, Robin pressed the elevator button, so it's going to come back around again. It's fine.
Yeah.
That's definitely going to happen.
Yeah. So this is where the boat is gone. Where are Shaggy and Scooby and Professor Flaky? What's happening? They were wading through the water and everything.
All right, so now everybody's met up. The shenanigan Josh talked about earlier, where Shaggy and Scooby freeze midair after they realize who it is. They've come back. Everybody's here.
Another one, thank you.
Just amazing.
We get some more spoonerisms.
Another one, thank you.
At least 2.
Another one, thank you.
As of right now.
Yeah, so Flaky explains what the hell is going on to everyone else who was unaware. Joker and Penguin want to steal my invention. We have to go, get there before they get there, but actually they're going to the wrong place. Because Flaky is, just really bad at words, but he's actually pretty smart. He sent them to the Hillside Aircraft Company instead of the Gotham Rubber Factory, which is where it actually is, because it's a rubber flying suit.
Mm-hmm.
This is, another point in why I think Professor Flaky is the best character in the series. Because he sounds like a bumbling doofus, but he's incredibly intelligent. He's a really smart inventor. He's also incredibly clever and witty and helpful. And so I think, I don't know. I love, if Professor Flaky has no fans, I am dead.
Fair. So they get to the surface on the elevator, and the Batcopter is gone.
Who could have taken it? It's Joker and Penguin. They took the Batcopter.
It was just a case of group hypnosis. Was there
Of
really
course.
a Miss Baker? Was there really a Batcopter? Did President Lincoln really wear a turtleneck sweater?
Oh, we are bringing it full circle.
That's called a callback, folks. That's what they teach you
President
in
Lincoln
clown
never wore a
school.
turtleneck sweater.
Favorite bit from that whole episode.
Yep, amazing. But you know what? It's fine. We know where the mystery machine is. They didn't take that. And off screen, they give them a lift to the Batcave.
Which, at this point, not to the Batcave, just to their Batmobile.
Oh, okay. To the Batmobile.
Oh, okay.
And they say, we can give you a lift in the mystery machine. And Batman says, by giving me a lift, you are giving a lift to every law-abiding citizen in the world. What the fuck does that mean?
What the fuck, dude?
Every time.
By giving me a lift, you are giving a lift to every law-abiding citizen in the world. What does that mean, Batman? That doesn't even make any sense.
I watched this episode. I question Batman on this one.
I am trying to make a case here, Batman, that the dialogue and the writing of this episode is incredibly goofy, incredibly witty, incredibly clever, and then you drop this bomb of a line? Oh my gosh, he's doing me no favors here. I'm trying to win a competition. Ugh. It's almost like a shenanigan by how stupidly clever it is. What does that even mean? By giving me a lift, you're giving a lift to every law-abiding citizen in the world. I can't even question, I don't even know where to begin to think about how to make sense of that. Oh my gosh.
Sorry, my brain was just going to how you're trying to win a competition, and I'm like, Ethan, are we giving out a trophy to the guest who had the episode with the most shenanigans?
It'll be part of the Scooby Snack Awards.
Oh, it sure will be. It sure will be part of our Scooby Snack Awards. My goodness. Okay. We're going to the factory. We're going. We only have a few more minutes left of this episode.
Finally in the
Charlie,
third
we
act.
have 14 minutes left.
I know. Which is so many minutes, actually. So, the gang is going to Gotham Rubber, And Batman and Robin are going to Hillside Aircraft to see if they can catch Joker and Penguin. So, we're splitting up the team a little bit. And hey, look, what's here at the rubber factory? But a bunch of balloons.
Just the existence of these balloons has to be a shenanigan. Because you pull up and all of a sudden there are these giant Thanksgiving Day float balloons in the likeness of Santa Claus, Yogi Bear, Fred Flintstone, and Batman and Robin. Just like you pull up, the existence of these balloons on screen is a shenanigan. Like, I get that it's like your definition of shenanigan is cartoon things that wouldn't happen in the real world. And obviously these are things based on the real world, and you have cartoon characters in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. But just like the meta-ness of it, where they're taking other Hanna-Barbera like properties and like Santa Claus, who's like public domain, and bringing them into Scooby-Doo and saying that it's the Gotham City Thanksgiving Day Parade, I think is just wildly, wonderfully clever and funny, and like deserves a shenanigan.
It's beautiful.
Charlie?
I love this part.
Is it shenanigan worthy?
I don't know if it's a shenanigan. I just like it. Like
yeah,
this
it's
is
just
the
nice.
This is the potato meme from The Simpsons. This is
You just think it's neat. Yeah. Though I keep forgetting that the Flintstones are always barefoot. And I'm like, Fred, you got the dogs out for free? What are you doing?
That he does, and they're gigantic, Ethan.
Charlie, you don't have a foot fetish.
I don't have a foot fetish. I actually hate feet. Plot twist. I have the opposite of a foot fetish. Okay, so Flaky and the Smart Gang are going to the top floor. Shaggy and Scooby are going to stay in the yard, although I'm pretty sure there's something that happens here where Shaggy and Fred just kind of have like a little bit of a back and forth of like, oh, we'd rather stay up there. It's like,
yeah,
you gotta be careful for the villains.
Fred tells Shaggy and Scooby to stay out in the yard. Shaggy says they'd rather be in the factory to guard the invention. And Fred says, oh, great idea. Joker and Penguin may land on the roof and come in through the skylight. So go upstairs and be alert. To which point Shaggy says, I think you misunderstood me, Fred. I said that we'd rather be out here in the yard. And then Fred goes, jinkies, which is usually what Velma says. But he's saying
he's also said like, Jeepers in this episode, too.
I just love them. Anyway, Shaggy and Fred, boyfriends. So
we knew this.
That's just my argument. Anyway, so Shaggy and Scooby are in the yard, and hey, look, there's just a pile of donuts.
No, incorrect.
That's donuts, Ethan. I don't know what you're talking about. That's a pile of donuts.
I don't know what else little round black things could be at the rubber factory besides donuts.
Of course. What else could they be? They're tires for like wagons and stuff.
That Scooby and Shaggy trying to eat rubber tires as if they were donuts, that's a shenanigan.
That is a shenanigan.
Yes, it is.
That's
another one. Thank you.
That's also something that's like on our bingo card is somebody eat something that isn't food.
Yes.
That's so funny.
Or at least there's an attempt to eat something.
Yeah,
but
I'm still working on the bingo card.
Yeah, but Shaggy does something really clever here, where I think he's done this before, or maybe I've just seen it somewhere else, where he essentially gives Scooby the same choice in two different ways.
Yes.
This is a running bit, at least through this series, and it's something specific that I wanted to ask if you had because I can't remember if this was also a bit in Where Are You that you can remember.
I don't think so.
Shaggy finds weird and kind of tricky ways to trick Scooby into doing something that he doesn't want to do.
Yeah.
Like, I have a list of like other times it's occurred, at least in this series as I've been watching it.
Yeah.
Like he goes like, heads I win, tails you lose.
That's the one I was thinking of.
Yeah,
flip a coin, but it's a two-headed coin.
Yes. Okay, that did happen in Where Are You? The two-headed coin did happen in Where Are You, I think.
No,
that
was in Ghastly Ghost Town. The 3 seasons.
Oh, that was the first episode of this series. Okay.
Yeah.
There was another time where like they have to go in somewhere spooky and Shaggy goes like, you go first. And Scooby's like, no. And he's like, okay, I'll go first after you. And so he's just like tricking him. And so like this time he goes, let's see, what does he say? I have it right here.
He says, I'll hide, you warn Fred. And Scooby's like, no. And Scooby's like, okay. And Shaggy's like, okay, you warn Fred, I'll hide.
Yeah, he's like, you want it the other way around? Okay. And then he just reverses the order that he said it in
Bro.
instead of flipping who does what. And
Yeah.
Scooby falls for it for a second and then comes to his senses and realizes that he's been got.
Yep.
Which I don't know how I feel about this. It's like, it's funny.
It's not a shenanigan, but it is funny.
But also, it's kind of gross that
Yeah, it's a little
Shaggy
manipulative.
is like pulling these like they're more harmful than pranks because you're putting someone else in harm's way, like in these scenarios. And it's just weird that he's like doing that to take advantage of Scooby being not quite as quick on his feet than the others. And it's just like makes me feel a certain way about Shaggy and the way that he treats animals.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's kind of dumb animals. But this will be part of my argument on why I'm like, Shaggy is a bard. Shaggy is such a bard. He uses words in a way to confuse other people. Like,
Yeah.
he's got the charisma, he's got the riz. And Scooby gets him back in the way that Scooby is always stealing his fucking food.
Yep.
Every time. That's why Scooby's the rogue, and they are the bard and the rogue, going off on adventures together.
Yep. So inside the lab, Smart Gang with Professor Flaky, here's a helicopter, and then they're like, oh, let's take a look out the window. And then they get 3 tires on their heads in perfect succession.
Because Scooby had noticed the helicopter, and he takes the tires and loads them onto his arm like they're ammunition, then turns around and starts throwing them at the window to try to get their attention. And then as they open the window, all 3 of them get a tire around their heads.
Yeah. The tire on their heads is a shenanigan, but also Fred's just like, wow, thanks a lot, Scoob.
Another one, thank you.
And it's like, he was literally trying to alert you. He was trying to help.
In the least dangerous way he knew how.
Exactly. So at least he didn't throw a rock at your head. Like, okay, so...
I'm convinced this is in a rubber factory solely for shenanigans.
Oh.
Solely for shenanigans.
Clearly. It's Gotham City. Everybody here is a little bit whack. So...
Yeah.
So, Shaggy and Scooby are hiding behind some tires, and... when Joker and Penguin go out into the factory, Shaggy alerts Fred. He's like, okay, they're there. You guys gotta be ready for them, okay? So this is where we get the lab, the locked door.
Another one, thank you.
Flaky is now by himself in the lab.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
While Smart Gang is going to do some fucking shenanigans today.
God damn. Charlie, I can tell you right now, Josh is probably gonna take the cake.
Are we gonna let him?
I'm fine with letting him have this.
Yeah. Get it. Okay, so on the topic of shenanigans, the next one that's coming up is one of my favorites. The Smart Gang find Joker and Penguin on like the ground floor of the rubber factory. Fred climbs into a giant tire and then grabs a broom, and both ends of the broom are sticking out, and he has Velma and Daphne roll him towards Joker and Penguin so that the 2 ends sweep them off their feet as he rolls by.
It's a shenanigan.
Another one, thank you.
Velma even says that ought to sweep them off their feet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Fred also says, I hope they enjoyed their trip, because he tripped them.
Yeah, and Joker and Penguin are just like, oh, it's just a tire. Like, just step aside. We'll just let it go past us. They don't even notice the broom there. And so, this is actually a genius plan.
Well, and I guess either the Joker or the Penguin is forklift certified, because they're driving a forklift over to Fred.
Yeah.
Who is now stuck in this vat of rubber.
Yeah. He, after he sweeps them off their feet, he rolls up a ramp into a giant barrel of fresh, sticky rubber.
Yep.
And just the shot of like from the bottom, you can't see him, and he keeps trying to jump out over the edge and keeps getting caught back. So it's almost like a Jack in the Box peekaboo of Fred coming over the edge and back, over the edge and back. That's got to be a shenanigan.
It is. I put it on there.
That is a shenanigan, because humans cannot do this.
Another one, thank you.
And then, conveniently placed behind Daphne and Velma. We have inner tubes and beach balls, and we have another plan immediately.
Which is just chuck beach balls at Joker and Penguin. Or I
Launching
guess
them with, like,
slingshot them.
Yeah, a makeshift slingshot with this giant rubber band between two poles.
That might be
And
the
they
inner
just keep,
tube.
and they've got
actually.
incredible aim. They're just hitting them in the
Dead
face,
on.
one after the
Yeah.
other.
Yeah, listen, Daphne's pretty good at with this. I think this would be dexterity.
Yes. She's very athletic in
Yeah.
like a lean and lithe type of way.
Yes, absolutely. So, I just love this one. It's just so funny. But then we go to Batman and Robin, who finally appeared on the scene. Guys, you're late. What are you doing?
Yeah, what were you doing after Joker and Penguin went away?
They were trying to find them, I guess. I don't know, man.
The hillside.
There's only one other place they could have gone.
It was on the other side of the city. I mean, give these guys a break. They didn't even have the helicopter. They were trying to drive the whole time. They got stuck in traffic.
Batman.
Just the Batmobile stuck behind commuters at rush hour on their way home.
Especially this specific version of the Batmobile that's a convertible with no top.
Yep.
They're just like everyone looking over, be like, oh, the dynamic duo, bumper to bumper.
Yeah, it's great. They run into Shaggy and Scooby, who tell them what's going on, and then they decide to get in the Batcopter to be the welcome wagon for when Joker and Penguin finally get up to the lab.
And as they start flying up, Shaggy goes, they just got here. Now they're trying to leave? Where even are they going to land? And Scooby goes, roof. And Shaggy goes, I was just asking a question. No need to bark at me. Awesome.
Fantastic. I love a good pun.
Yeah. And then, as this is happening, Professor Flaky is like, I hear root steps
on the foof. That's my favorite spoonerism in this whole episode.
Another one, thank you.
He turns the light off in the lab, and then he throws the flying suit onto Scooby.
That's a shenanigan, I think. Just
I have that.
Perfect aim.
Because he thinks that the silhouettes are Joker or Penguin. He runs over to keep the flying suit safe, throws it out the window, and it lands right on Scooby. Another one, thank you. And Shaggy thinks that it's one of those like one-man band music suits and thinks that it's going to play music. So he just starts pushing buttons to try to get the music to come out like it's an accordion.
Yep.
The moment where he like zips Scooby up into the suit and they're like, like putting it on him all cute, like in my head. It's
great.
So he flies into the air.
Everything with this flying suit is a shenanigan.
Every time that fucking button is pressed.
Alright, so that's one so far.
Another one, thank you, every which way. And as he immediately flies up, Shaggy goes running and starts scaling up the giant Batman balloon to try to reach him, and ends up like sitting on the shoulder of the giant Batman balloon, like reaching up to try to, and just like that image is so funny. You've got like Shaggy like cradling the head on the shoulder of this giant Batman. It's just, it's so funny.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now Scooby starts pressing buttons.
Yeah. Like, Flaky's like, press the land the pressing button, and blah, 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 blah. And
another one, thank you.
Yeah. So he goes like forward, and then he goes down, and he's going down so fast, and then he's going up again, and he's just going every which way.
Maybe my favorite shenanigan of the episode is Batman and Robin get back in the Batcopter to try to go rescue Scooby, and they hang a cable or a ladder, I can't remember, down from the Batcopter for him to grab, but they just keep passing each other back and forth, up and down. Every time the Batcopter goes this way, Scooby goes that way, and they just barely miss each other over and over again.
If we're doing every time the button is pressed, that's going to be a lot.
Fine, but like, okay. Let me figure out this sequence, because he goes up, and then he goes forward, and then he goes down, and then he goes up again.
I don't know how you have decided to end up counting when he first goes up flying and every which way that he presses the button, but the Batcopter missing him each way, that's got to be a separate one.
Missing
that's a separate one.
That's a separate one, but I'm gonna I want to say, like, the first going up, obviously a shenanigan. When he starts going down and almost, like, goes splat, I feel like that's a separate one.
Another one, thank you.
Okay.
And then it leads into, like, a short little sequence of him going, like, all over.
And that's all one. Okay.
That's one.
Another one, thank you.
And then the helicopter.
Okay.
Another one, thank you.
There is also a moment where, he tries to grab onto Shaggy, but for some reason, he's also pressing a button while he's grabbing onto Shaggy. Doesn't go so well.
So the penguin chucks his umbrella like a javelin towards Scooby to pop the flying suit so he goes down to the ground. Ends up hitting the leg of the Batman balloon.
He killed Batman.
Which for some reason causes the Batman balloon to fly away into the air.
Come on, man. That's just Newton's second law of motion. Actually, I'm not going to get this wrong. Which law of motion is it?
Is it the every action is equal and opposite reaction? Because that's the third one.
Yeah.
Cool.
You're right. Second law is just force equals mass times acceleration. Yeah, third law.
Yes.
Like when you pop a hole in the balloon and all of the air starts coming out, it's going to go flying in the other direction.
Okay. I thought this balloon was anchored to the ground. So...
No way.
Not very well.
If they had anchored it to the ground, then there wouldn't have been this awesome shenanigan.
That's
the writers
true.
knew that we needed this.
Maybe whatever was anchoring it to the ground, Shaggy somehow, like, fucked up when he got out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I also think that, I don't know if this would, because the way that these balloons, like those like cable things that come down, aren't those what people just like hold on to like guide it and carry it along. So maybe it wasn't like anchored to the ground, but those are just for people to come grab and like carry it somewhere else.
Okay.
Perhaps. I'm not sure.
Then that's just like so funny because then you have basically Batman flying in and out of frame as if he's Superman, but you have Shaggy hanging on for dear life. And then you have the Batcopter going in and out of frame. And then you have Scooby going in and out of frame in the sighing flute. Another one, thank you. Oh, it's just clever.
There's so much happening
It's so
here.
fun. This is just like a great like climactic scene of the episode. It's awesome. There's just so much going on.
And then finally, Scooby grabs onto the fucking ladder. Shaggy grabs on. They're there. Batman's got both of them. And then the Batman balloon is going down. Like, finally, the force of Mavity is taking it down.
He was defying Mavity.
It was defying
That
Mavity.
reminds me of your reference in the Ghost of the Red Baron episode about like the Red Baron singing Cynthia Erivo. This is another great thing that like that.
Yes.
Like taking out the soundtrack and replacing it with Defying Gravity would be hilarious.
Yes. I tried to record my screen with all the shenanigans happening there. My phone would not do it.
Yeah, it's like the thing about
overload.
Streaming services. It does not let you do those types of things. I might be able to do it with my
I'm able to do it with my
DVD
computer.
copies. I have DVD copies of them.
Yeah.
So potentially it could happen.
Anyway,
so the finally deflated Batman balloon falls, and Joker and Penguin are trying to run out of the way, but they can't, and it falls on them. And then you see their perfectly outlined silhouettes trying to escape by stretching through the rubber, and you can even see Penguin's top hat perfectly like in the rubber. That's awesome. I love it so much.
It's a beautiful thing.
I don't know how heavy these types of balloons are. This one looks particularly heavy, but that's just, the cartoon medium. So my brain's just like, they should be suffocating, actually, underneath that thing.
Oh, yeah.
They can weigh 450 pounds.
Is that before or after?
That's with air.
Okay.
The real question is how much without air?
If I knew the volume, I could tell you how much.
Well, there's one particular. Okay, the example that I'm seeing is the deflated Spider-Man Thanksgiving Day parade balloon. It weighs 640 pounds, so somewhere between 500 and 700 pounds deflated.
So that's about the weight of a piano being dropped on you.
Yeah,
it's spread out, but
But yeah, so it may not be as intense as a piano falling on you, but not great.
We should be suffocating under
the
there.
difference between like a force applied in a small area and a force applied in a great area, that's a pressure differential for you physics nerds.
Under pressure.
But I love that Fred says, like, congrats, Batman, you've captured Joker and Penguin once again. And Batman goes, oh, I didn't capture him, it was the balloon. And Velma goes, well, the balloon is Batman. So technically Batman did capture them.
Ha 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 ha.
Now this is the screen grab that I mentioned earlier that I'm going to send you, because the Penguin is a talking and he mentions his partner, and then he says, my ex-partner. And the facial expression that the Joker makes when he says ex-partner is so heartbreakingly funny. The Joker's just like dumbfounded, like, are we breaking up?
I mean, he's also just got this like weird dead-eyed like clown smile on his face this whole time.
Just absolutely incredulous at the possibility.
Just like, how dare.
Listen, this is a dysfunctional gay couple. It's fine.
A tragic love story coming to an end right here. This is the reason why you don't see Joker and Penguin teaming up in future Batman media, is because of this breakup moment right here.
They are
and
exes.
Then after
Hanky Wanky,
after the Penguin says my ex-partner, Joker calls him feather-brained fathead.
Damn.
Which is so funny.
For a kid show, that's kind of...
Yeah,
but
they do continue.
Our last shenanigan of the episode is when the Penguin presses the button on the flying suit Scooby's still wearing, and he takes off.
Yeah, because
this time he knows how to do it, and he's going in perfect loop-de-loops and flying with his hands out. And
yeah, Penguin's lastly saying that Joker does not have as much brains as Scooby, as this dog.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah. Scooby-Dooby-Doo!
This ending sequence could also have Cynthia Erivo sing Defying Gravity over it.
Yes, it could!
It's beautiful.
Scooby-Dooby-Doo! Oh god.
I tried.
Scooby doing the battle call at the end.
I tried so
beautiful.
hard.
I'm imagining somebody doing a Scooby-Doo voice and singing Defying Gravity. Gravity.
With someone doing Ariana Grande's part as Glinda in a Shaggy impression.
Yes! Yes!
Correct.
Why can't you understand?
Okay.
I hope you're happy, Scoob.
You're having delusions of grandeur.
This episode's got so far off the rails.
My brain is going to... I mean, Ethan and I know this cosplayer who does a lot of Shaggy stuff.
Oh, yeah. I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, we follow the Shaggy Sabersmith. Yeah, and just a bunch of, like, funny things like that with Shaggy and Scooby, and now I'm just imagining him doing this.
That's incredible. I know who you're talking about.
He would. He would. Exactly. I think his most recent one was, like, between Shaggy and Fred, and they're both Jedi, and it's like, I have the high ground. No, I have the high ground. Like, yeah. Let me see if I can find him. Just to double check.
I don't think he's done anything wicked, but that would be hilarious.
No, I'm just trying to double check his @
While you're doing that, I have a list of just other things that I wanted to like shout out. I don't know if you would count any of these particularly as shenanigans. The Spoonerisms are one thing, and we already shouted them out. I call them Robin-isms, but he always, and this is coming straight from the
Holy XYZ Batman, right?
Yeah, exactly. And this is coming straight from the 1966 show, but it's like they take that bit that he does and they just turn it up to 11, where he goes, "Holy mix-up! It's Joker and Penguin," or "We'll get to the bottom of it by staying on top of it." Holy hobgoblins! Holy manhole! When they go into the cave and they see the mechanical bat, he goes, "Holy trademarks! It's a giant bat." Which I think is
that's funny. Fantastic. I love that.
He goes, holy brainstorms, that was brilliant, and holy sidewalls at Shaggy and Scooby. So there's a total of 7 of those holy XYZs.
Okay.
Batman just has a couple things, like he's got a couple like alliteration where he says typical tactics of the terrible twosome. We're going after those goony gremlins. There are your fairy tale felons. And then at one point he goes, great balls of fire, which I don't know why. I just love that.
I'm pretty sure. Let me double check.
I think that's just a quote.
No, it's a song. Okay.
Okay.
Let me double check. In the last episode, okay, different person. So Great Balls of Fire is a song that was sung by Jerry Lee Lewis versus the last episode whose guest star was Jerry Reed, different singer. Okay. I thought it was a reference to that. It's not.
Then Joker has a couple, like he says, the caped Crusaders could never catch us. Now she's hoping, soon she'll be hopping. Way ahead of you, my web-footed friend. Our mechanical bat is driving them batty. Quite so, you Emperor of Evil. I'll set the controls so our bat will keep these bird brains busy for a while. And of course, Pangy Wangy, which he says a couple of times, which my heart. And then I love when the bat's chasing them around. He goes, let's go see how the other kids are doing with batting practice, which is fun.
That's great.
When they first see Scooby in the flying suit being launched, he goes, oh, great. Now our plans are up in the air, which is so awesome. But by far, my best isms, besides Flaky, is Penguin with the amount of alliteration. Like, that's one of, like, kind of the defining characteristics of Burgess Meredith's portrayal of the Penguin. Like, there are some, like character decisions that he made, like his little waddle that kind of became definitive for that character for all future adaptations. And, like, his kind of wah, wah laugh, like, especially in animation, like the Batman animated series, people like took direct inspiration from that, and that was something that he did. But this is directly thanks to the script writers that always had like something in case Burgess Meredith was in town, because he had such a busy schedule that it's just like whenever they were in town, they just kind of stopped whatever they were doing and they would throw in a Penguin episode. They always had a script ready. And they, like, his dialogue just had like these great bits of alliteration like sprinkled through the episode. But in this episode, everything that he said was just full of alliteration, which I have just been a fan of my whole life. I don't know why, but I just think that alliteration is so fun. And when you can take it and just try to stretch it to its like absolute like max, it's awesome. So here's just like some examples. I wish I could see the faces on those foolish fledglings when they find out they've been fooled by foul play. Very good, jolly jester. Now that they've turned away the intrepid intruders, let's flee to our flighty friend, Professor Flaky. Relax, you rollicking rogue. This is not a toll bridge, it's a troll bridge. It's fantastic. Fortune favors us. We must filch that fabulous flying suit from Flaky. No, my lanky lord of levity, which a lot of these are just like ways that he refers to Joker, and lanky lord of levity is a great one. Force would be futile. Flaky is a fumpering fish face, but he's no fool. We must use finesse to ferret out the fact. We are prepared, Professor, to purchase your praiseworthy product, and not for a piddling paltry pittance, but a prodigious payment. Probably those tiresome teenagers. After our hilarious hauntings, we'll hie ourselves to Hillside to get the flying suit. So these boneheaded bird brains are buddy-buddy with Batman, eh? It's truly a tactic of rib-tickling terror. It's that pair of bubble-headed bridge crossers. This should be a scream. Drat, my dear harlequin of hilarity. The fun won't begin unless we get those babbling buffoons into the boat. Now watch this, you wily weasel of wit. I'm going to turn on the fearsome phantom fountain. Now look at us, and those terrified teenagers will turn tail. So these feeble-minded fools think their rolling tire can stop us. Blithering bombast. This simpleton is stuck. Let's go after the beach ball bombardiers. This is no time for corny quips. Better ground the hound than scoot with the suit. The heroes are trying to rescue that flying flea bag. This cornball put me behind the 8-ball. And then finally, when he's breaking up with Joker, he calls him a lanky, laughing loony bird. Incredible. There's 22 total.
That is an impressive amount of dedication, which is just a theme for you, though, so far. So, love all the work you put into that, Josh. But Charlie, before I reveal the amount of shenanigans that occurred in this episode, what time is it?
It's terror time again. Let's talk about some trivia, my friends. Do we all have the Scoobypedia? Whatever Scooby-Doo fan.
I do. I'll go ahead and
on our trivia.
I'll go ahead and do that.
I got the first bullet point.
Okay.
This is, at least according to this is the last official animated appearance of Batman, Robin, the Joker, and the Penguin. They do, however, appear in a segment of the Batman, the Brave and the Bold episode, Batmite Presents a Batman Strangest Cases, as an homage to the team-ups that occurred, and a revival of sorts of the new Scooby-Doo movies that happened in DC Comics' Scooby-Doo Team-Up, which also expands the DC universe beyond what happens in Gotham City. All of this seems to have been disregarded, though, as the DTV, Scooby-Doo, and Batman the Brave and the Bold aligns with the continuity of Batman the Brave and the Bold TV series.
Fred says Jeepers, which is widely known as Daphne's catchphrase, and
in reality, a dryad is a female spirit from Greek mythology, even though Joker's disguise is male.
I didn't think his disguise was male. I think he was just a tree.
Yeah, that's just
Also,
a tree.
Who knows? Like, if a dryad has to be female, like, who's stopping the Joker from, like, dressing in drag anyway? Like, I feel like that's something that... doesn't he do that at least some point?
Honestly, the Joker's, like, one step away from doing drag in the first place.
Like it basically is drag. Like, it's like
you put the Joker in, like, some ridiculously outrageous eyeliner. He's Trixie Mattel. Like...
Yeah, or like how Chapel Roan is a drag queen. Like, you don't have to, like, dress as the opposite to be in drag. Like, just like the kind of makeup and performance you do, and that's basically what the Joker is doing all the time. Like, the character that he's putting on is essentially drag.
I was gonna say, what if, like, we rebooted the Joker in a way where, like, the Joker was even more of a drag persona? Like, just say it outright. Just go for it.
The thing is, I don't really want the Joker as a drag to be a villain, because, like, queer people have been villains for a very long time, so we don't need that anymore.
This is true.
I do think it depends, like, how it's done and if it's tasteful and stuff. But it reminds me of, like, Jinx Monsoon, who was an antagonist in one of the Doctor Who specials.
That's what I'm thinking too. Like,
where played, like, the maestro as, like, the music, like, god of the pantheon, and I thought that was really fun and really well done.
And the way to play that off is that you have, like, this villain who is very queer, and you also have this protagonist who's also super queer, because tell me Nshuti's doctor is not like the gayest thing you've ever seen.
No, Nshuti's doctor is pan, like, through and through. That's the read I got on him specifically.
Yes, but listen, his first moments as, like, him being his own doctor in his own episode, he's, like, dancing at a club in a skirt, and I'm just like, oh, I love you. So what you need is you also need to have, like, if it's Batman, if it's whoever, like, of, like, the Bat family is against this drag Joker, you need to have them be also equally as queer, you know?
There are queer members of the Bat family.
Exactly.
Do I know who they are off the dome? No, but I know they exist.
Also, for the reason that you want the scenes where they're sharing the screen together to just have incredible, like, sexual, like, romantic tension. It's almost like a Riz-off. Like, they're both just exuding charisma.
Okay.
You know, because like traditionally Batman and the Joker have, like, on-screen chemistry, but in the way that they're, like, playing off of each other. And now you just want to take that and, like, make it overtly, like, gay.
This is the plot of the Lego Batman movie.
Lego Batman.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe we're just describing something that's already been put out there. So, like, you know what would be really awesome? Oh, wait, this already exists. That's right. Lego does it for us.
To continue the trivia, throughout the episode, music from fellow Hanna-Barbera shows, The Impossibles, and Dastardly and Muttley in their flying machines can be heard.
It's one of the few episodes that doesn't have an actual monster case, but instead focuses more on capturing the Joker and the Penguin.
Much like the previous Batman and Robin crossover, there is no real monster, though instead of Mrs. Baker running around in a cloak, the episode just centers around Joker and Penguin, though they do wear disguises until Batman and Robin chase them off.
Anyway, if you listeners also want Josh to fix the trivia on the two Batman related episodes of Scooby-Doo, yeah, just let him know. Everyone, just
I
let
probably
him know.
won't do it unless your listeners pressure me enough to the point where I
Pressure.
have no choice.
I mean, we
Peer
if you want us to, we're going to put your social media in the description. So
just at Josh.
Yeah, for every at or like DM that I get, I'll be one step closer to going in there and fixing it. One thing I wanted to say though, like actually I'll wait because I know you have like a bit where this will come in
okay,
to the discussion.
sure.
But
Do we do the shenanigans first, or do we do the other things first?
I don't even remember anymore.
Okay.
We never put the shenanigans on the.
No, we didn't. We didn't put it on the show notes. So I'm just going to go ahead and do them now. Josh, Charlie, I am proud to say we have a new number
drum
one.
roll.
What's our number one? What's our number?
Our number, with a grand total of 54 shenanigans in the episode, is the Caped Crusader caper.
I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're not ever gonna keep me down. I get knocked down. I told you I had this was almost like divine guidance to bring me into the podcast at this particular moment in time so that I could, because I am a winner. I am a winner to my core. I don't come in here if you're in second place, you're first loser. This is who I am. So I'm just so glad that I could come in at this crucial moment in Scooby-Doo history and really just prove to the world that I have what it takes to win.
Now,
That being said,
you...
I'm probably gonna stop recording and I'm gonna go check fantasy football and find out that I'm losing horribly to Abby.
Fine.
I have
it's
not
fine.
been.
Now, for those of you who want to do math, which I do, that is an average of 1.26 shenanigans per minute in the episode. That's the highest average we have seen so far.
I told you, highest shenanigans per capita. This is incredible.
This is true. I cannot wait to see if somebody will try to beat you, but they'll have a hard time doing it.
Oh my goodness. Where do we go from here, Ethan?
Charlie, what are we rating this episode out of 5 Scooby Snacks?
Oh my dear goodness. Well, we know it was better. We appreciate this episode more than we did that dynamic Scooby-Doo affair. So I feel like we need to rate it a little bit higher.
Okay. Well, our rating for that episode was 4.25 out of 5.
On average.
On average, between the three of us.
Between the three of us. I would rate this a 4.5 because
I would also rate that.
It did feel almost more of a Batman episode than it did a Scooby-Doo episode, which not a bad thing.
No, not at all.
We did not have a mystery.
That's the point that I was going to make. Yeah, because I feel like the last one, the Dynamic Scooby-Doo Affair, felt like a really good Scooby-Doo episode that had Batman. And this one feels like a really good Batman episode that has Scooby-Doo. Whereas last time, I think that the mystery that they set up with the disappearing house or the house where they went in and everything was bolted and you didn't know and you just kept getting clues, I felt like that was a really well set up mystery, especially compared to some of the mysteries in the rest of the new Scooby-Doo movies where it's just kind of hard to like follow what's going on. I felt like that one was a really good self-contained mystery.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, there's no mystery, but right off the bat, you're introduced to Joker and Penguin, and they're trying to steal the flying suit, and you're trying to stop them. And so you've got the plot set up right from the beginning, and it's like Batman, you're just trying to stop the villains, and it's go nonstop. And so like I feel like you have to like dock it just a little bit because there's no mystery and there's no like unmasking aspect, but it gains a little bit of that back just because of how good of like a Batman episode it is with Scooby-Doo in it. So I think I would give it like a 4.75 or something.
Okay. So let's do that math real fast.
Well, I was also gonna say that you can still do your math, but it's also the fact that so it's not a mystery to us, I'll say that. It's a mystery to the gang and to Batman because they don't know what's going on. We are given the Joker and Penguin little back and forths every so often. We see what's going on with them.
That's a good point.
Which did in fact happen in the last episode that Joker and Penguin were in, but it didn't happen until we saw Joker and Penguin. And in that episode, they also didn't know everything. So
Yeah.
you know, it's a very interesting how we get more of the villain's perspective in this episode. Yeah, it's intriguing.
Definitely unique as far as Scooby-Doo goes.
Yes. Now, when it comes to the question of whose side we're on, I think we are all in agreement here. We are on Professor Flaky's side.
Correct.
1,000,000%.
Correct.
Even like when you get to the next episode and you say, whose side are you on? You're still going to be on Professor Flaky's side. It's going to take you a hot minute before you cool down and you're not on Professor Flaky's side anymore. I mean, that probably breaks the rules of your podcast, but in the back of your mind, you'll be on Professor Flaky's side.
The next episode, the Loch Ness Mess, I know whose side I'm on already. And that's because that is another really great episode that I enjoy.
Yeah, that's a Harlem Globetrotters episode, so we will see how that goes.
We certainly will see if anything can beat 54 shenanigans.
It's that absolutely massive.
I do think
I didn't think it could be done.
Could beat it is Harlem Globetrotters.
Well, we've got 2 more of those episodes in the series left.
If
so
this episode is not still in the top 5,
I'll be very sad.
I will be shocked.
If another episode beats and becomes, the new number 1, before you release it, you have to let me know so that I can record a little broken-hearted concession speech. And then send it to you so you can put it into the episode.
Okay.
That'll be the outtake at the end.
We'll keep an eye out. We'll keep an eye out.
All right.
Oh my goodness. Well, that about wraps it up for us for this episode. Josh, would you like people to find you on the internet? I know you also have your own podcast. Tell people a little bit about that.
Sure. I have a podcast with my wife, Sydney. Started it about 4.5 years ago, right after we first got married. We've just released episodes here and there as we've introduced each other to new things, movies, TV shows, music, vacations, destinations, hobbies, things like that. Just trying to document the early days of our marriage. And as we're trying to develop shared interests with each other, it's called Thanks for Participating. You can listen to that wherever you get your podcasts. You can find me on Instagram at JoshIsRich, separated out by underscores. Mainly, I'm just posting photos of my hikes and trips around the state of Utah. And I guess in other places, we go on road trips quite a few times. So if you want to see pictures of my adventures, you can follow me there. So for now, you can follow me on Instagram, message me there. That's probably be the best place to send me your threats for me to go on and fix the Scooby-Doo wiki. But yeah, thanks Charlie and Ethan for having me. This is one of my favorite shows, and it's always fun and exciting to come on and record with you. I don't have another, these were the 2 episodes that I had in mind after you released your first Scooby-Doo Where Are You episode. And after this, I really don't have any specific Scooby-Doo media that I would be requesting to let me cover with you. But if you ever emergency need a guest or anything, you can hit me up, and I would definitely be willing to come on and talk with you about it.
Oh, Josh, you will be back.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. That is good news.
For sure.
I'll be back.
And we'll be waiting.
Indeed.
This is not the end, listeners. This is not goodbye. It's just see you soon.
See you later. Yes.
Oh, God. Don't make me cry today.
Charlie, we're not trying to make you cry.
You're going to try to make me cry. I know it. All right. Well, for now, we're going to go split up and look for clues for our next mystery. Bye!
Bye.
Bye.
You can follow this podcast's socials at Mysteries in the Machine Pod on Instagram. You can send a message to our email, mysteriesinthemachinepod@gmail.com. Be sure to give us a rating, a review, or let your friends and followers know how much you love the podcast. That really helps. You can follow me, Charlie, at GreenPixie12 on most platforms. I also have an art Instagram at GreenPixieDraws.
You can find me, Ethan, on Instagram and Threads at ethan.t.hewlin. Our music was written and produced by Jason Hilton. You can find him at Negative Selections on Instagram.
And okay, there's a cat. Are you gonna be in or out? Pick one. Come in here or go. Thank you. That is my chair, sir. That is my chair.
Oh, baby kitty. Oh, what a
My
handsome
chair.
little guy.
I love Orzo. He's the best.
Oh,
meow for the
meow
people?
meow.
Say meow. Say meow.
I had to, right before recording, I had to kick another little handsome meow meow out of the room because he would have not stopped meowing the entire time. He's very needy and talkative.
He's mad because his mommy went out for dinner.
Oh, poor little baby. Poor little baby meow meow.
And he's like, you're ignoring me. Pay attention to me. I'm really cute.
I love cats.
Same.
Batman. That's one for the outtakes.
Batman. Batman. Batman.